Did you know engine additives can increase fuel economy by up to 20% and extend engine life by 100,000 miles? In this video, we're showing you 11 additives that actually work and 5 that don't. Watch until the end to find out the additive that literally kills, and it's not just your engine. Let's start with the ones that work. At number 1 is Techron Concentrate Plus. We're starting off with one of the most famous fuel additives. Techron Concentrate Plus is a fuel system cleaner developed by Chevron. It's said to be one of the rare additives that's officially recommended by GM and other manufacturers like BMW. Many mechanics also vouch for Techron. Scientifically, it checks out. It utilizes high-strength polyethyramine, PEA, a compound proven to break down carbon deposits in engines. Techron decarbonizes fuel injectors, combustion chambers, and intake valves. Plenty of drivers report better fuel economy, smoother performance, and lower engine knocking. In some cases, MPG went up by 2 miles per gallon. Still, while Techron is an effective cleaner, it does have its limits. It works best on vehicles that regularly run on substandard gasoline, and it shows more noticeable results in older engines that have been abused. If you plan to use Techron, make sure to follow the directions carefully. And that advice applies to every additive we'll cover, including the next one. At number 2 is the ATS chemical, 505 CRF fuel system treatment. When a world-famous mechanic risks his name behind a product, you know it's something worth paying attention to. Scotty Kilmer is famously an unofficial ambassador for 2 additives, and this is the first. Like Techron, ATS 505 contains PEA and cleans the 4 main types of carbon buildup found in the fuel injection system, valves, and combustion chamber. 505 CRF is compatible with both port fuel injectors and direct injection systems. But unlike Techron, this one works with both gasoline and diesel engines, which also makes it pricier. So, is it worth the cost? That depends on your vehicle's condition. Some users report their oil consumption dropping by nearly half. On average, you should see a 1 to 3 mpg boost, or up to a 13% increase in fuel efficiency. If you're spending $2,500 a year on gas, that's $325 in savings. Plus, you'll also likely notice improved throttle response, quieter valve and timing chain noise, and smoother idling. That makes ATS perfect for high-mileage cars. Later on, we'll cover an additive specifically designed for classic engines. But first, let's take a closer look under the hood. Coming in at number 3 is Lucas Heavy Duty Oil Stabilizer. As a general rule, most engine oil additives are not effective. They can block oil passages, reduce lubrication, and sometimes include abrasive compounds that wear your engine out faster. So that $20 miracle bottle could end up leading to a $4,000 engine rebuild. But there are a few products that actually work, and Lucas Heavy Duty Oil Stabilizer is one of them. As the name suggests, this isn't your typical oil treatment. It's an extremely thick Group 1 mineral oil with very few additives. Its main job is to help worn engines with loose bearing clearances. The thick formula fills those gaps to quiet engine noise, raise oil pressure, and lower oil consumption. But important to emphasize, this is meant strictly for older engines. Lucas Oil Stabilizer has a viscosity rating of over 2,500 centistokes at 104 degrees Fahrenheit. For comparison, standard 5W30 synthetic oil sits around 60 centistokes at that temperature. If you pour this into a new turbocharged engine, you can wave that engine goodbye. Even in non-turbo engines, it can interfere with variable valve timing and lead to oil foaming. So, avoid using this in healthy engines, and as always, follow the directions exactly. Number 4. Liquimoly MOS2 Anti-Friction Engine Treatment. Did you know that nearly 1/3 of your fuel is spent just fighting friction inside the engine? On top of that, about 62% of your engine's power is lost to heat and friction. That's why billions have been poured into developing better motor oils. But modern oils don't always perform as well in older engines, and that's where Liqui Moly Most 2 comes in. It forms a pressure-resistant barrier layer on metal components, cutting friction in the valve train by as much as 50%. MOS 2 is a German formula that's been trusted by taxi fleets in Germany for decades. It's also used in aerospace and heavy-duty industrial machinery, where excess friction can be catastrophic. Like the other treatments we've covered, Liqui Moly is intended for older engines. If your car is under 5,000 miles, you actually need a bit of friction to help seat the piston rings properly. The immediate effect of using MOS 2 anti-friction is smoother, quieter starts, especially in colder climates. It's compatible with all 4-stroke gasoline and diesel engines, and it's safe to use in turbocharged systems and vehicles with particulate filters. But if you're after something designed specifically for diesel engines, the next additive is made just for that. At number 5 is Hotshot Secret Everyday Diesel Treatment. Unlike many engine additives, Hotshot Secret EDT addresses a real issue. The process of removing sulfur to produce ultra-low sulfur diesel also strips away the fuel's natural lubricating qualities. This lack of lubrication causes more internal wear. In standardized testing, ULSD has been shown to leave wear scars as large as 520 microns. Hotshot's EDT can cut that down by as much as 159 microns. This helps extend the life of expensive components like fuel injectors and pumps, which can cost upwards of $5,000 to replace. Hotshot's EDT also boosts lubricity and adds vital cetane. Most pump diesel has a cetane rating of 40 to 45, but modern diesel engines typically require between 48 and 50. Hotshot's formula can raise that number by up to 7 points. This results in cleaner combustion and easier cold starts. Some drivers have even reported fuel economy gains of up to 7%. The third major benefit, it helps your engine run more quietly. And yes, it's safe for newer engines too. But if you're driving something much older, the next product might be a better place to start. Next at number 6 is Seafoam Motor Treatment. Seafoam is a fuel and oil stabilizer, as well as an engine cleaner and a few other things too. This means, unlike most additives, you can use it in both your oil and fuel, and it works in gas and diesel engines alike. That raises the question, how is that possible? Well, Seafoam has had over 80 years to perfect its miracle, and the results speak for themselves. Over the decades, tens of thousands of users have reported reduced oil consumption, better engine performance, and improved fuel mileage. But being a jack of all trades also means it's the master of none. While it does a decent job as a fuel system cleaner, it doesn't quite match the effectiveness of Techron or ATS, mainly because it doesn't contain PEA. That makes Seafoam ideal for older engines that have been fairly well taken care of. Still, there's value in having one product that can handle multiple jobs, and if you're after an oil treatment that performs wonders on aging engines, just wait until you hear about number 9. Number 7. Marvel Mystery Oil. With over 100 years of history, this is one of the most tested engine additives on the market. Marvel Mystery Oil got its name for a reason. It works as a fuel system cleaner, oil stabilizer, and engine cleaner all in one. It helps remove carbon buildup from fuel pumps, valves, and injectors in both diesel and gasoline engines. It also breaks down sludge in the crankcase, while reducing varnish, gum, and overall wear and tear. Many users report immediate, noticeable results other than basic benefits. including quieter idling and smoother startups. In some cases, even clogged EGR valves have been restored after just one treatment, saving owners hundreds in repair bills. Marvel Mystery Oil is effective for older or high-mileage vehicles, but the next additive is one that works great for engines of all ages. Number 8. Hot Shot Secret Diesel Winter Anti-Gel. If you've ever owned a diesel vehicle, you already know the nightmare they can be in the winter. They're hard to start, and if you're not using the right additives, your fuel lines can freeze up in minutes. That's why we're bringing you another solid pick from Hot Shot. Their secret diesel winter anti-gel does exactly what the label promises, but far better than most of its competitors. This additive lowers the cold filter plugging point, while also increasing cetane, power output, and fuel efficiency. Normally, untreated diesel with paraffin starts to gel around 10 degrees Fahrenheit, but Hot Shot's anti-gel can push that freezing point all the way down to negative 40 degrees Fahrenheit. Without a product like this, your diesel engine might not start at all, and you could end up with a $2,000 repair bill. For best results, treat your engine before winter sets in, and remember, it only works in temperatures below 10 degrees. If you drive a gas-powered car, Heat Gas Line Antifreeze is the product you'll want. But which additives shouldn't you use? That's coming up shortly. At number 9, BGMOA Motor Oil Additive. One of the most expensive oil-related repairs is fixing stuck piston rings. Depending on your vehicle and location, that could cost you anywhere from $2,000 to $3,500. But here's the worst part. It's totally preventable. BG Motor Oil Additive was specifically made to fix this issue. This engine oil treatment helps break down carbon deposits on piston rings, stabilizes oil thickness, and prevents the buildup of sludge and varnish. Independent lab testing shows that BGMOA can raise the total base number, TBN, of standard motor oil by up to 40%. TBN measures the oil's alkalinity versus acidity, and when oil becomes too acidic, it starts to wreck engine parts. While high-quality oil usually contains enough additives to prevent this, if you've been running cheap oil, you'll definitely need to apply this to your engine. The one caveat is that BGMOA isn't about instant results. Its real benefit is long-term protection. It's also especially effective in older engines, just like the next additive we'll cover. Number 10. Lucas TB Zinc Plus. Ever wonder why classic cars are so expensive? It's because they require a ton of maintenance. For example, vehicles with flat tappet camshafts need oil with much higher levels of ZDDP. Unfortunately, most modern motor oils don't include much ZDDP anymore, since it can destroy catalytic converters. That's where Lucas TB Zinc Plus comes in. While regular oil contains around 600 to 800 parts per million of zinc, older engines need at least 1400 ppm. This additive boosts it to over 5,000 ppm. Lucas TB Zinc Plus is also suitable for race cars and breaking in new engines. But if you're using it in a new motor, the oil should be drained after 1,000 miles. That's not usually necessary, and only experienced mechanics should attempt it. Lucas TB is a solid oil additive for vehicles made before 1994. If your car is newer than that, don't worry, we've got more options coming up that might be a better fit. Before we get into the additives that don't work, we've saved the best one for last. Coming in at number 11 is Arcoil AR9100 Oil Additive. This advanced formula is a game changer for diesel engines, especially those with high-pressure HEUI injectors, but it also works wonders in gasoline engines. AR9100 uses a patented nanoborate technology to reduce sticky friction, that causes rough idling and power loss, while also forming a protective, low-friction film on engine components. Independent ASTM tests show it can cut engine wear by up to 62% and boost fuel economy by up to 5%, with many diesel owners reporting smoother cold starts and restored injector performance. And the cost? A 16-ounce bottle costs around $30 and treats up to 16 quarts of oil, which is ideal for high-mileage or heavy-duty vehicles. Add it during an oil change, follow the instructions precisely, and give your engine the edge it needs for peak performance. Now that we've gone over 11 additives that actually work, let's take a look at 5 that don't. Starting off at number 1, off-the-shelf octane boosters that claim 10+ point gains. If you're driving a regular car, there is zero reason to use octane boosters. Only high-performance engines benefit from extra octane, but even then they need far more than what these cheap store-bought boosters provide. The ones boasting 10+ point gains are misleading. Here's why. A single point is only 0.1 of an octane rating, so 10 points would take you from 91 to just 92. Real octane boosters will bring you from 91 to 95. And that's when performance improvements actually happen. A few extra points won't give you more power, just an empty wallet. And if the product contains MMT, it can leave behind orange manganese buildup on spark plugs and oxygen sensors, repairs that can easily run over $1,000. At number 2 are Teflon-based oil additives. Polytetrafluoroethylene, or better known as Teflon, might sound like the perfect fix for engine friction. After all, PTFE is the same substance used in non-stick cookware, so it should reduce friction, right? Unfortunately, that's not how it works in engines. The most well-known company to push this snake oil was Slick 50, which was hit with a $10 million fine back in 1997 for false advertising. The FTC determined that their claims of added engine protection and extended lifespan were completely false. In fact, NASA engineers discovered that PTFE builds up in oil filters and passageways, meaning using these additives can actually wreck your engine instead of protecting it. Coming in at number 3 are the engine rebuilders. When a product claims it can restore missing engine components by infusing copper, silver, or lead into the mix, that's a major red flag. Soft metals in an oil additive can't magically repair hardened steel cylinder walls. Still, plenty of people fall for it. In reality, engine rebuilders are just thickening agents that may temporarily mask the problem, but in the long run, they ultimately do more harm than good to your engine. At number 4 is Ford Anti-Gel and Performance Improver. This is a diesel anti-gel additive, and yes, it technically works. However, it's also one of the weakest mainstream options among major brands. Project Farm ran detailed tests on 11 widely available anti-gel products, and Ford ranked 10th. Hot Shots, Peak, and Amsoil claimed the top 3 spots. Another well-known brand, House, also didn't perform particularly well in those same tests. Finally, at number 5, FuelMax Energy Enhancer. These so-called fuel catalyst claims to restructure gasoline molecules for up to 30% better fuel economy. Sounds like a game changer, right? Wrong, it's pure fiction. These additives often contain ferromagnetic compounds that do nothing to improve combustion. Lab tests show they leave corrosive residues in fuel systems, damaging injectors and pumps, leading to repairs that can cost over $2,000. Unlike other additives we've covered, FuelMax preys on eco-conscious drivers with false green promises. Those are 11 engine additives that can boost performance, reduce engine knock, and extend the life of your car, especially if it's getting up there in mileage. But additives alone aren't enough. If you want to make sure your engine doesn't fail before 100,000 miles, watch this video next. Why your car won't last 100,000 miles.